Hello. Okay, just had somebody ask me. They said literally, I'm so busy. I don't know how to create, like, how do I actually create space? I'm it's create safe space, I should say. I'm so busy. I've got so much stuff going on. I don't have time to stop and make sure that everybody feels safe on my team. So just thought I would address that here, give you some things to think about. So creating safe space does not have to take more time. It does not take more time. Actually, if you do it with the right intentions, energy, and presence, creating safe space is going to save you a ton of time. So here are just a couple things to think about when you're working on creating safe space. First of all, if your intentions are clear, if the energy you're bringing to the table is clean, and if you're really present with people, you're 90% of the way there, in my humble opinion. I think that if you do that, clean intentions, you're very clear about your intention, you're being in service of your team, you really want to understand your team, you want your team to feel safe. If your energy is clear, so you're bringing the right energy to the table, you're not bringing the energy of busyness or judgmental or irritated or I'm so busy, I don't have time for you. If you're not doing that, and instead you're bringing the energy of I'm here, I'm present, I'm curious, even if it's just for a minute, doesn't have to take a lot of time. That right there is going to take care of a lot of it. And then the final thing is if you are really, truly present with your person and you stop and you put down your phone and you stop whatever stuff you've got going on, that right there, your presence is going to start to create safe space. So there's just a safe space in terms of the being and how you're showing up. I think that so often we think we contort this thing and we've got, doing culture change, leadership, strengthening, all these different things. We think it's going to take so much time that we push it off, or we just don't deal with it. And what I want to offer you here is creating safe space. Actually, if you get your IEP right, that's your first step. Your first step is just get your intentions, your energy, and your presence safe and clear so that the people around you can actually start to connect with you at that level. Now, that's the being of it. There's one thing, we talk a lot about this in our work that we do with companies. There's a lot more nuance. However, quick hack. It doesn't have to be a hack. You just don't need to spend more time to create safe space. You need to spend more intention, more energy, more presence in creating that safe space. So there's your being. Now, your second part, you're doing. What are the things that you're doing that are creating safe space or not creating safe space? A lot of this is going to be in the way that you handle people coming to you with feedback or with questions or them coming and saying that they don't know how to do something or they need a little bit of support. Your reaction in that is going to determine whether or not you're creating safe space. So it is worth taking a pause. That does take a moment. It is worth taking a pause to stop and kind of go, let me think about how I want to interact with this person. The way that you take feedback is going to be the difference between creating safe space or not. The way you give feedback. If you never give people honest feedback, you're actually not creating safe space. If you don't give people honest feedback and instead you just let them kind of keep going off the rails and you don't actually speak to them directly about what's happening, that's actually creating really dangerous space. So these are things you want to be thinking about. Let me see where we're at on time. I've got a little bit more time here. I'm trying to do these videos faster. I don't know if you've noticed. I just want to talk to you the whole time. Other things to think about in terms of creating space is, are you talking directly to people? Are you doing direct engagement? Do you allow for space on your team in your team meetings for people just to check in with how they're doing? Are you talking behind people's backs? Are you, again, coming back to feedback? Do you give everyone else the feedback about your teammate, but you don't give it to them personally? That is really not creating great safe space. So notice that all of these things actually take less time. If I have feedback from my teammate and I go to them directly and engage with them directly, that is saving me a ton of time as opposed to going and complaining to everybody on my team that this particular team member isn't doing something. I've just drained everyone's energy. I've broken trust and credibility with this team member, and I wasted a ton of time. So just keep going to the source. Now, in the Active Choices programming and the IEP programming and the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative, we work with companies and leaders over and over and over again to really help them create authentic psychological safety, not just like whack-a-mole, not a check it off the box and say you did your psychological safety training, but really, truly authentic psychological safety. If you're interested in talking about that, reach out. We'll be happy to have a conversation with you about it. We love this conversation. We think it's super, super important. And we think that it saves a ton of time. So if you think you don't have time to create psychological safety and safe space because you're so busy, it's actually the opposite. You don't have time not to. So it'll save you time, really. All right. We'll see you guys soon. Make sure that you like, share, do whatever you're going to do in order to pay this work forward in the world. This is why we do these videos. We do them for you, but we also do them to reach as many people as possible to hopefully put a little bit of good stuff into the world, especially in organizations.